All right, what's going on, everybody? KB Card Stacks here at about $400 of sales this weekend. I'm still running 15% off on my eBay store. A lot of other random stuff has sold since then as well. Let's just get right to it. Let's talk about it. All right, little Shedeur Sanders blue to 199 PSA 10. I bought this raw and graded it myself, all into it, probably about 40 or 50 bucks. This one sold for 120. I had it listed for the longest time at 100. After week one, definitely a lot more offers. I think I was getting like 80 to 90, and I jumped it up to 120. Kind of took a chance on it, but I do think Shedeur hasn't really been in the limelight a whole lot, to be honest. I think it's been a lot of Travis Hunter, of course, for Heisman and all of that, but I still think Shedeur is one of the top 3-4 quarterbacks in the draft, so I'm fine holding on to it, and I'm also fine selling it for 120. One thing to note, Bowman University checklist just dropped, and he's not in it. No Shedeur or Travis. People seem to be a little upset about it. I don't know. I personally don't care whether they're in it or not. I really don't care who, I don't know. The checklist is what it is. I'm not going to get upset about it and think that, oh my God, they missed on this player and this player and this player. There's a business to it. But with Shedeur Sanders, I do think without those, second-year Bowman cards, I do think there is a little bit more value in his first now, or at least, this is only licensed Bowman card. There's Bowman Best, I guess, but, for me, kind of the same thing, I guess. If there were a 2024 Shedeur, it's very similar to Bowman Best, and I'm just not a Bowman Best guy. I think price-wise and value-wise, I'm just more of the stick to the first. I'm not an insert guy, so that's my take on it, but really happy with the sale. So there we go. My voice sounds terrible right now, doesn't it? My God. All right, here we go. Dylan Gabriel, National. Listed these. I probably have 20 or 30 of these copies. Listed them for 20. I think this is my second copy to sell. It was, I think, $16, $17 after my 15% off discount. So nothing crazy there, but happy to get out of it and, start making a dent on that big purchase that I had. We'll just talk about these three all because they sold on Saturday night. Marcel Reed. A bunch of Leaf autos. These sold for 50 bucks a piece. I bought them after he got into the game. Did Wakeman just suck or did he get hurt? One of the two. It could have been either or both because he's not a good quarterback. And when I got these in, I talked about it a lot where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. Connor Wakeman, Marcel Reed, one of them is going to want to start, right? And one of them is going to leave. Whoever gets Marcel Reed is in a better position. That's who I want for my program. Let Connor Wakeman go if you're A&M. Let somebody else, let him go stink it up at Auburn or some other program, right? I've never been a Connor Wakeman guy. I thought about this. He is like the Auburn version of Bo Nix, where it's like he's going to throw 500 yards and 5 touchdowns in one game, and it's going to be in a big game too, and everyone's going to be in on him. And then he's going to stink it up for the rest of the year. So I'm not a Connor Wakeman guy at all. I think he's terrible. I think 24/7 Sports ranked him as the number 2 quarterback in the country. Marcel Reed, I think, is the guy that you want. Also, he is in Bowman University in the checklist that just dropped. Something to think about. I don't know, but I will certainly take the sale there. I think Marcel Reed is the guy to buy, not at these prices. They definitely spiked after that big win versus LSU. Juju, this just sold in the 15% off sale, 17 bucks. I think I like it. I like Juju Watkins. Refractors, I like the portrait. I think we're going to see an uptick here as women's basketball starts, I think in the next 3 weeks. So that's cool. All right, another 15% off sale, and one that I'm happy to get out of. Jackson Arnold and is just one of those guys from product release. He was priced as a top 5 quarterback or player in the product, and it just blew my mind how we're pricing and paying for the hype that he's this recruiting website said he's the number 1 quarterback in the country, right? And I sold a yellow auto for $200. His golds were doing 200 plus consistently. Finally gets to start against Arizona, a good defense at the time for sure, but looked very lackluster. You look at the new SEC schedule before the season, I'm like, this is a terrible schedule. He's going to win 7 games, maybe 8. Just be lucky you're going to a bowl game. Stunk it up. To be fair, to be honest, I don't think it's necessarily his fault. My concern for OU from the beginning of the season was their O-line. 5 new starters. That sucks. Doesn't look great. It also doesn't help that their top 5 receivers, literally their top 5, which I would argue was their strength of their defense, they've been out this entire year. Jalil Frug, I think, broke his ankle somewhere, lower leg. Deion Burks has been like doubtful every single week. Nick Anderson's been hurt. Andrell Anthony, I think, has been out for a period of time, and then their other guy has just kind of been there. So tough. It is tough. He's the starter now, and they played Ole Miss. They gave him a game, but I'm not a Jackson Arnold guy. I think I'm making money on this, which is shocking because his prices have tanked. I saw people buying up first autos for like $10-15, which is crazy. Those were selling $40-50. Buy it now this offseason. Not for me. I'm not a Jackson Arnold guy. I'm not going to go back in. I'm going to take my loss. I never believed in him from the start, so why would I now? So that's my thought there. Michaela Williams base. This was kind of an odd purchase. I remember I was watching this auto, and then someone sent me. I think they just mixed it up because I've almost done it before too, where they basically sent me like a 90% off offer instead of like a 10% offer. And I got this for a couple bucks, I feel, which was kind of nice. And they honored it. They just shipped it, and they were like, "Yeah, my fault." So this one I think just sold for like $25 with that 15% off. So I'm cool with it. I'm with it. And then Brian Robinson picked this up at a show for $12. Listed it for $30. From fantasy, I don't watch NFL. It's usually Sunday night and Monday night that I watch. But from fantasy, I can kind of pick up some things here and there. I'm actually doing okay in my work league. And I felt like Brian Robinson was doing well, so that's why I picked it up. Nice 2-color patch from a product that does not produce a lot of hits. $12. I was like, worst case, I think it's 20. Got some offers for 20 and 20, I think 20. And I had it listed for 30, and then this 15% off sale. I don't know what he did this last game versus Chicago. It sold before that game, but yeah, that was nice to sell for $25 there. So a nice almost double up there. So this was, I think, $430-ish, I would say. So not a bad mix of sales. And thinking about Bowman University, I am motivated to sell a lot more just because now we're officially in pre-order. It comes out of pre-order. You'll probably see this later in the week, so you're gonna miss it if you didn't pre-order. That sucks. But follow me on Twitter and join my Discords if you want to be in the know. But I'm excited for Bowman University. I think it's going to be a good product. I just tweeted about this a couple minutes ago. I don't think that the ceiling is as high as last year. I thought last year was an amazing checklist. As soon as it released, I was like, I don't think they really missed anywhere. Now I think not as high of a ceiling, but not as low of a floor. To me, and I was just talking to someone about this, it's a bunch of Brennan Presleys in the checklist, a bunch of very productive players who just don't have the national attention. If you were to ask me to make a checklist in March, I would probably hit on a lot of these guys and be like, yeah, throw in Seth Hennigan, throw in all these group of 5 guys I think is great, and a lot of these other players. Some gambles. I know Cal got their quarterbacks, kind of mixed up. Chandler Rogers, Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, it would have been nice to get Mendoza in there over Rogers, but I'm cool with the checklist. I just don't know if it's going to be for everybody, just because I don't think that there is a super high chase. People are going to be overpaying for Ashton Jeanty. That's just the nature of it with the hype right now. I think Garrett Nussmeier is going to be way overpriced for draft speculation. And there's a few others as well. Ryan Williams is going to be just astronomical to the moon. So for those reasons, I broke down the checklist. There's about 100 guys out of the 200 that I'm interested in buying, and maybe a little bit more just depending on how prices shake out. There's about 50 repeats, true repeats, as in your Cade Klubniks. They've had the same jersey on for multiple years now, but the transfers like a Dylan Gabriel, like a Cam Ward, those I value a little bit more. I treat those as firsts just because it makes it a little bit more collectible for a new group. So I like that. There's about 50 of those. I really don't want to buy into any of those unless the value's there. And there's about 40-ish or so that I would say that I'm like, I'm not interested in them, I would say, at all. Just my personal belief, like Abu Sama out of Iowa State and guys like that, just not for me. And then there would be about 20 guys that I really don't know that I just need to research and learn about, which is awesome. So I'm glad that I know about the checklist and can kind of provide that. I won't provide any deep detail or analysis. I'm big on research. Do your own research. Buy what you believe in. I like the education. If you see these guys in value bins, that's great. If you see them cheap, great. We can take advantage of that, and people not caring about college sports, that's awesome. That's where we win. That's where we make a lot of our money. The prospecting is just kind of the wins on the side. So that's my kind of overall general thoughts on Bowman University and the new product, the new details. Actually, I'm going to release this tomorrow, so you'll see this Tuesday. If you listen to all of this yapping, comment Tuesday down below. If you liked this video, click on some of my other videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Love you.